Hello and welcome back. I was born in Jackson, Mississippi during the Jim Crow era. Ooh. Hello and welcome back. I was born in Jackson, Mississippi during the Jim Crow era. I was only 3 when we moved to Shreveport, Louisiana, 6 when we moved to Texarkana, and almost 7 when we moved to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, all during the Jim Crow era. Who was Jim Crow? The term seems to have come from a derogatory song and dance called Jump Jim Crow, performed by minstrels as they made fun of people of the black race. The song and dance gave its name to a system of laws in the South that forced the segregation of blacks from the members of white society. Even though freed from slavery, black persons were treated as less than second-class citizens. It was in Pine Bluff in the 50s and 60s that I first became aware of these inhibiting laws. In the 5 and Dime Crest store on Main Street, there were water fountains labeled colored and white. There were separate restrooms in department stores and filling stations. The Sanger Theater had 2 entrances, the main one on 2nd Street, and on a side street the so-called colored entrance. Moviegoers who bought their tickets there had to sit in the balcony. This was another kind of social distancing prevalent during my childhood. Just last week, the Mississippi State Legislature voted to change the state flag by removing from it the image of the Confederate battle flag. In 2001, such a measure was defeated by the public referendum, but now this icon of a stained past will no longer represent the people of a once rich cotton state. The flag has not been designed yet, but it will feature the words, "In God We Trust." A few years ago, the University of Mississippi, or Ole Miss, banned the Confederate battle flag from its sporting events and replaced the Colonel Reb mascot with a black bear in 2017. And now the land shark became their official mascot just recently. The changes in racial attitude that have been taking place in Mississippi we see reflected in other ways around our country. Georgia has removed the Confederate battle flag from its state flag. South Carolina no longer flies its Confederate colors above the state Capitol building. Even Southside High School in Fort Smith has replaced its rebel mascot. Some years ago in our diocese, a parish experienced division and anger over the placement of a Mexican flag in the sanctuary of the church. Originally, the parish was all Anglo, but with the arrival of Spanish-speaking immigrants to the area and the parish, tensions flared when someone wanted to place the Mexican colors in the sanctuary opposite the American flag. The pastor resolved the issue, but it reveals how powerful symbols can be. A couple of years ago, a granite monument of the 10 Commandments was placed on the lawn of the Arkansas State Capitol building. And now a Satanist group is suing to have the monument removed. If it isn't, they threaten to place a goat-like image of their own deity on the Capitol grounds in the interest of so-called religious equality. What does the statue represent? Heroism? Bravery? A cause? In the aftermath of the unjust deaths of George Floyd and others who were victims of apparent racially motivated hatred, many statues are being thrown from their pedestals. Should they come down? Sure, if the honoree represents the defense of an unjust cause like slavery, or as in the case of Saddam Hussein of Iraq, genocide. The statue of an unnamed Confederate soldier on the square in Bentonville will be removed in August without, so far, being toppled and broken. Statues, flags, images, crucifixes all say something. Symbols are important because they are freighted with meaning. When I was pastor in Magnolia, Arkansas, I attended a basketball game between hometown Southern Arkansas University and their conference opponent. At the time, SAU, coached by Monroe Ingram, was undefeated in its conference. They had erected a sign at one end of the court saying, "Monroe Doctrine," basically saying that the opposing team would not win on ASU turf. Well, SAU lost that night, and at the buzzer, their opponents raced to the sign and they ripped it off the wall. Symbols and signs can make powerful statements and can elicit powerful responses. The death of George Floyd was an unnecessary tragedy, but it has become a symbol of the injustice that minorities have faced for centuries. Stores have been looted and burned, statues have been dragged from their pedestals, and state flags are being redesigned. Black lives do matter. They always have. It's just taking our country a needlessly long time to realize it. By the way, all lives matter in God's creation. Black, Native American, Latino, Asian, Anglo, the unborn. There is no place for a Jim Crow in our society, not even in our world. Check your last name. Unless you're Native American, your ancestors came to America from somewhere else. With due respect for our laws, everyone is welcome here. Everyone is equal. Everyone's life matters, and in God we must trust.